Hi guys, so I managed to get my laptop back, or at least get a new laptop, so I can finally actually make a video and actually manage to edit it properly and everything, so we're back on normal fronts, so hooray! And it's time to do my first ever book unhaul. I've never unhauled a whole load of books like this before. I'm usually a bit of a book hoarder, but as you can see, I've redone my shelves and I've completely rearranged them because I bought a load of books last Friday and I seem to just keep on buying loads and loads and loads and loads of books, so to make room for them I should probably get rid of a few. But I'm going to show you what I've unhauled because, well, there's quite a few of them and I may as well. So without further ado, let's get into this book unhaul. The first book I'm getting rid of is The House of Mount Fathom by Nigel McDowell. I'm getting rid of this one because it started out amazingly well and so lyrical and everything, but by about the middle it had really sort of trailed off and I found myself getting quite bored, and I think I only gave this 3 stars in the end, and I'm probably not going to reread it again. There was scope for maybe a sequel or something, but unfortunately the author passed away before he could make it, so there's no real point in sort of keeping this one around. I'm also going to be getting rid of Spellslinger because I made it 10 chapters into this. I think it was about 10 chapters and it just didn't interest me that much. I was not exactly taken with the characters or anything, and I'm probably not going to read it again, though it kills me to get rid of it because it's got nice lovely sprayed edges. But to be fair, if I think about the books that I could have on this shelf, I'd rather have this one off it than actually on it. I'm also getting rid of The Legacy by Gemma Malley. I have never actually read this one, but I've had it for about 6-7 years now, I think. At least a very long time. It survived 2 house moves and I still haven't picked it up. And that to me says I'm probably never going to pick it up, and it's also the actual final book in a trilogy and I don't have the other 2, so there's not really any point in keeping hold of it. I'm also getting rid of Christopher Pike's Remember Me because this is actually volume 2 of a series as well and I have not read the other ones. It's about vampires and I'm a bit, not exactly iffy on vampires right now, but right now vampires aren't really something that I'm into reading about. I will happily watch Underworld and things like that, but at the moment vampires aren't really what I'm interested in, and I don't know if I'll ever read this one again. It's been on my shelf for 6 or 7 years and I haven't picked it up, and I haven't bothered to find the first ones in the series, so I'm probably never going to read it, so I should probably get rid of it. Now for this next one, please don't kill me, because I know this is a very popular book on BookTube and I know a lot of people are probably going to shout at me for this, but I'm getting rid of The Night Circus. And I know a lot of people are going to hate me for this, but if you listen to my reasoning, I loved the writing style of this book. I absolutely adored the writing style of this book. I loved how lyrical it was. I loved all the descriptions of it and everything. I thought all of that was amazing. I cannot fault it at all. My problem was with the storyline, because for me I was expecting a huge magic battle at the end and a proper magic fight kind of thing, and in the end I just got a love story, and I am not a fan of love stories. I'm trying to sort of get back into love stories, or to just get into love stories, but for me this was not a love story I could get behind or anything. I was a bit meh over it. To be honest, if I'd known it was going to be a love story, I may have enjoyed this a bit more, but I went into this thinking there was going to be a magic fight and a massive battle and all the rest of it, and instead I just got a love story. And while I absolutely loved all the descriptions of it, I do not think I will read this again, because while the descriptions were beautiful, the storyline just felt like it didn't really go anywhere for me, so I'm just going to get rid of it. I'm also going to get rid of Warm Bodies because this one, I love the film. I absolutely adore the film. I love the Hollywood parody of it. I think all of that is absolutely brilliant. And I love R in the film because he's so sarcastically funny. And I quite like Nicholas Hoult anyway. And I absolutely love the film. And I read the book and I just found myself quite disappointed because R is very, very different in the book. He's nowhere near as sarcastic, and quite a lot of his lovable features just weren't there for me in the end, so I'm just going to get rid of this because for this one, personally, I would much rather watch the film than read the book. I'm also going to get rid of The Savages by Matt Wyman, and if you've been on this channel before, you know that I've read this book and I didn't enjoy it because the entire book was heading towards this big event where they get discovered to be cannibals and things like this, and in the end I was really looking forward to that, and in the end that was sort of skimmed over in the last 10 pages, which really disappointed me, because I was really looking forward to reading a book about them being discovered to be cannibals and just being on the run and people finding out and things like that, and in the end that's not what I got, and I was expecting a lot more humour in this, sort of Addams Family-esque dark humour and things, and in the end I didn't even get the humour, so there's no real point in keeping hold of it. I'm also getting rid of the Dark Academy Blood Ties, because again this is like the 3rd book in a series or something. It's book 2. It's book 2 in a series. I don't own the first one. Again, it's about vampires and high school drama, and to me, I'm not really into high school drama books or just high school drama in general, and vampires aren't really my thing either. And again, I've had this book for like 6 years on my shelf and I haven't picked it up, so I'm probably not going to. I'm also getting rid of Angel by L.A. Weatherly. Again, I've had this book for like 6 or 7 years now and I just haven't picked it up, and also from the back, it's also about a gorgeous, mysterious angel and the girl who falls in love with him. And to be honest, that's not my thing. Again, like I said, I'm not a love story person. I'm not a romancy person. I'm working on it. But if a story is just based around a love story, I'm just generally not going to read it. I may have done when I was like 12 or something, but right now, not for me. I'm also going to get rid of The Beautiful Dead, and this one is book 4, Phoenix. Again, I don't have the rest of the series. I picked this one up again about 5 years ago, and I have not read it because I haven't read the first 3, and I don't own the first 3. I don't see the first 3. Like, I have no idea where to buy the first 3, so there's really sort of no point in me keeping this one around. I'm also going to get rid of The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, because I read this 2 years ago. I originally had to read it for school and I never finished it because we just didn't finish it in school, and so I decided to read this again about 2 years ago out of curiosity, and I was bored. But I didn't get what I wanted from this. I wanted violence and all the rest of it, and sort of like the more sort of idea that you get from TV shows about Jekyll and Hyde and things, and I just didn't get that, so there's not really any point in keeping it around. I'm also going to get rid of Heroes Saving Charlie, because I was a massive fan of Heroes when it was on TV. I loved Heroes. I still love Sylar, and I still love Peter. I've forgotten his name. I think it's Peter. Peter Petrelli. Yeah, that's it. I loved those 2 characters. I loved all the characters, but those 2 were specifically my favourites. But I also held a massive place in my heart for Hiro Nakamura. I loved Hiro. Hiro was like one of my absolute favourite characters, and I still love him to this day. Sometimes we even shout "Yatta!" whenever something happens, because we love Heroes, and we haven't watched it in ages. But when I was still watching the show, this came out, I bought it, and I got about a third of the way through, and I just stopped reading it, and I haven't picked it up since. And seeing as I haven't watched Heroes since it went off air, I haven't even watched Heroes Reborn because it was on while I was moving, so I just didn't get to watch it. I'd very much like to watch the TV show and the Reborn series, but to be honest, I'm probably not going to read the book. Another one on the throw pile is Fire and Ice by Jackie Andrews. Now, I loved this book as a kid, but it turns out I own a better copy of this because this one's properly battered. I absolutely loved this book when I was about 15, and I still love it. I haven't reread it since then, but I've recently uncovered the better version and the sequel, which is now up there? Or is it? It's somewhere now on these shelves, or out there, but I've just got a better copy of it, so what's the point of really keeping the battered one when I've got a pristine copy out there, you know? And then also getting rid of Wicked and Son of a Witch, which is weird considering I adore Wicked. Wicked is one of my favourite musicals, if not my favourite musical. Well, it's my favourite stage musical, put it that way. My favourite musical is The Greatest Showman, but Wicked is my favourite stage musical. I absolutely love it. But the book, I didn't read the book personally, my mum did, and she said she was incredibly bored, she nearly DNF'd it, and my mum never DNF'd a book, ever. And she said it was just really boring, and it was nothing like the musical at all, and quite frankly, if it wasn't like the musical and my mum didn't like it, I trust my mum's judgment, I'm just not going to read it, because I wanted to read the story of Elphaba that's told through Wicked, the musical. And I mean, if this isn't telling the story of Wicked and this one isn't telling the story of Wicked, I'm just not gonna read it, essentially, so I might as well get rid of them. These next ones pain me, but I'm getting rid of 4 Skullduggery Pleasant books. And these are the really pretty covers. But I have to get rid of them though. But I've got no shelf space left. I've also got the entire series in matching covers behind the camera, in a huge like big box set, and they all match now instead of these old covers, and I just don't need these ones anymore because I've got the new ones, which are very, very pristine and very, very pretty, even though these are quite pristine as well. It's just that I've got no room for these, and if I've got the big box set, there's no point in really keeping them. But I'm not completely getting rid of these. These are going to my best friend who has not read Skullduggery Pleasant, but she has the first book in the series, and I'm giving her these 4, which is books 2 to 5. But I know they're going to go to a good home with her because she looks after her books so well, and I couldn't give these away unless they were going to a good home. So I know that these are going to go to a good home, so that's why I'm going to get rid of them now. I am saying that I'm keeping the first book of the series of my originals because it's got really nice sprayed bright orange edges, and I couldn't get rid of it. I'm too sentimentally attached to it. Next, I'm also getting rid of Messenger of Fear and the Tattooed Heart by Michael Grant. I loved The Messenger of Fear. I thought it was great. I loved the concept of it. I loved the gore of it and the writing style, but the Tattooed Heart just really, really disappointed me in the end because it fell into a love story trope, and you could tell it was like a middle-aged man writing a 16-year-old girl, and it sort of really, really cringed me out, basically, and it just disappointed me in the end, and I'm just not going to read these 2 again. My mum's a big Michael Grant fan, and I know that she's not going to read them again because she really didn't like these ones after reading Gone Lies Hunger, because she preferred those ones, so I'm not going to read them again. She's not going to read them again. No one I know is going to read them, so I'm just going to get rid of them. But again, on the pain thing, I'm getting rid of the second and the third Skullduggery Pleasant book simply because these are the hardcovers. I've got them now all in paperback in a nice shiny box set, and they're all very, very pristine. I prefer the original covers to the new ones, but them's the breaks. And I'm just going to get rid of these 2 because I've had these again for about 3 house moves now, and we haven't got rid of them. And to be honest, considering that we have all of them in paperback, in pristine copy, I may as well bite the bullet and get rid of these now, considering I'm getting rid of the paperback versions of 2 to 4 anyway. So I'm going to get rid of these. It's going to hurt to get rid of these, but I'm going to get rid of them. I've just got to think more shelf space for the rest of the series. That's what I've got to keep on telling myself, is more shelf space for the rest of the series. But it still hurts. I've got to say, it still hurts. And that's all the books that I'm unhauling. I think I've done pretty well here for the first book unhaul I've ever done. I'm usually very much a hoarder, and I just keep everything, hence why I've had books that I haven't read for like 6 or 7 years now, and that have lasted many a move, and I just haven't gotten rid of them, even though I'm not really interested in them anymore. So this is quite a good one for me, to be honest. We're also going to get rid of a whole load of audiobooks because we just don't listen to audiobooks, but I'm not going to go into them. Just essentially, they are just a huge amount of like crime books, essentially. But apart from that, we are keeping all of our books. This is my new shelf. I will be doing a book haul of all the books that I bought last Friday next week, probably, or at least some point in the future, very, very soon. But that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please do give me a thumbs up. Comment down below with how many books that you've either unhauled recently, or if you really struggle with it, because personally, I really, really struggle with it, and I'd like to know if anybody is in the same position as me, so comment that down below. And I'll also leave the links to all of my social media links if you want to check any of those out in the description. And if you want to see any more of my videos, please click subscribe here, and over here will be the link to my previous video. But until next time, guys, bye!